stage where the wrestling truth resides.
Was it 2 years since your last match at Limitless Wrestling?
It was almost 2 years to
Give
the
or take.
day.
Yeah.
So it was January 20th, 2023 was my last match. And it was January 16th, 2026. Or yeah, okay. So the first one, 2024, my bad. Yeah. January 20th to January 16th, 2 years separated.
And that's crazy too, the how that all ended. Like MSP was together for what, 7 years?
Longer.
I
mean,
And-
if you, I mean, MSP probably about 7. Us as a tag team in various, gimmicks and such, definitely longer.
Yeah, and then nobody was expecting it. None of us was.
10 years.
Yeah. And
9, 10, something like that.
Aggro decided that he wanted to go his own path and challenge you to a match where loser leaves town, which was oh my gosh, it was a brutal match between you and Aggro.
I was there.
So was I.
The waterboarding, the earlobe spot, which there's just the things that you wouldn't expect to see, you saw, and it's like
somehow the spot with the exposed wood seemed like the least painful thing that happened.
Yeah,
in that match.
it seemed like it's the worst.
It still wasn't pretty, but yeah, I mean, at that point, like, I was already so gassed. I'd already been through a pretty, like 40 minutes of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it was the longest match I've ever been in. Granted, it wasn't a traditional wrestling match. We weren't running the whole time. We weren't doing crazy spots. I mean, we were doing, I guess, crazy spots, but it wasn't like crazy sequences, like blah, 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 bullshit, counter, reverse, fucking super kick, blah, 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 bullshit. But it's definitely the longest match I've ever been in, for sure. By a lot.
What was your mindset going into that match beforehand? Because we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know this was going to be your last match. What is that feeling of walking out there? It's like, okay, let's put on a show. This is gonna be it for a while.
Essentially, I think the main thing was probably, thank God we're finally here. You know what I mean? It was time. It was time for me to have some time, I guess, is the best way to put it. And the whole thing kind of came together a little abruptly. I would have liked for it to have been spaced out a little bit more, maybe a little bit more build up to the match. If you guys recall, or if anyone else listening recalls, we had our last match in our series of matches with Above the Rest.
Yep.
Tristan and Gabe. They won, which, awesome. Great team, great guys. They're both amazing wrestlers, and
still one of the worst finishes I've seen. Just looks like brutal every single time.
Honestly, if I'm being perfectly for real, what was it?
Monkey flip into the.
I was gonna say, wasn't it? Yeah,
Oh.
it was their finisher, but the way it got.
Did I take it, or did Aggro take it?
I think you took it.
I believe it was you that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I had to take the
fucking
pinfall
gross.
there. That's right.
I believe it was you that ate it.
So that happened, and then the turn happened right after that match, and then the very next show was the if I lose I leave match. Yeah. And I would have probably liked to have had it like at least one more show in there, but I came to the team, the Limitless team, with a sense of urgency of like, hey, like, I'm not good. Like, I'm very mentally unwell. I'm very broken in a lot of ways. I'm trying to fix myself, but I'm going to need time, and I just can't do wrestling right now. Like, there's no part of me that can get up for wrestling. I was dreading show days. I was dreading matches. I looked like shit. I felt like shit. Like, everything. And when the last match happened, I had already been on HRT for like 3 months, and Jossie was the only person that knew that at the time. Obviously I hadn't like come out fully yet, and I wasn't presenting full femme in public yet. I hadn't changed my name yet. None of that stuff had happened yet, and I wasn't quite ready for that. I didn't want to do that right away, and I definitely didn't want to do that while I was still involved with wrestling. So I kind of just was like, hey, I'm taking these steps, but cutting the cord here kind of needs to happen. And yeah, I don't know, giving up that night was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. You know what I mean? And it allowed, I'm very fortunate in the sense that like the door with Limitless, and I think wrestling in general, was just I left it open for myself. And I think that on the other side of the door, Limitless in the wrestling world kept it open for me. You know what I mean? Not everybody has that. Not everybody has a home promotion as storied as Limitless. Not everybody makes a name for themselves in a way where the wrestling community will even remember them after 2 years away, completely ghost. So I'm very fortunate that I kind of was able to just take the time I needed, reinvent myself, and get back to what I love for the right reasons too.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, was that like a hard decision, because you guys were on top for a lot of promotions? I think before the show was announced that you guys were going to go against each other, I think you just dropped the Let's Wrestle tag titles as well, if I remember correctly.
Maybe. Yeah, that sounds right.
It was somewhere in there, because what's funny is that whole like span coincides also with my leaving of the state in general, which is why I knew it had been about 2 years since your last match, because that show was my last show with Limitless, and the very like 2 weeks later, not even, I drove cross country and moved to Colorado. So, because you guys dropped the Limitless titles to POS, and then me and Dylan had the first title match for POS was against us in Island Falls, and it was literally like 2 weeks later or some shit like that.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that's kind of coming back. That was the last time I saw.
That was the last time I saw Levi. Was the same night that was your last match, because I looked over at Levi and I was like, "Oh wait, you're not going to be here at the next show or any next show after that."
Yeah, it was funny because I showed up and people didn't think I was going to be there, because they thought the Let's Wrestle match that I had with Dylan a couple weeks prior, they thought that was it. They thought I was, and then I showed up to Limitless and everyone was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I was like, "I don't leave for another 2 weeks. That was just my last wrestling match. I'm still here to work."
I got this aggro turning on you right here. Of course, there's no audio. The one clip I have has no audio.
Improv
commentary.
Where's Texarkana when you need it?
This bitch clapping in the background. What the fuck are you doing?
I don't know. I know some people were happy about this turn. Some people.
I actually thought that was a woman. No joke. Not me misgendering immediately.
Oops.
Like, nobody was expecting this at all. Blah blah blah. I'm better. Blah blah blah. Maine.
Excellent interpretation right here.
Blah blah blah. I got better hair. Blah blah blah.
Oh, wait a minute now.
Main character shit. Blah blah blah.
This was the creation of the main character.
Mm-hmm.
That's such. I love that gear too. The
I was just gonna say, I was like, that's the tragic part of all this. That gear will never see the light of day again.
Such good gear.
It's getting auctioned off at some point this year. Come hell or high water. I have all this shit I'm sitting on. That's my biggest thing.
Because I will throw money at that.
Yeah, I
What
just need
is
to figure
your
out how I
favorite-
want to do it and like what I want to raise money for. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of my biggest thing right now, and I'm
Yeah.
so
Here's the
fucking
wizard.
indecisive.
The Wizard-
That was the birth of the Shining Wizard. I think that was the
Yep.
first time he ever really threw it.
And of course,
Fucking
you
green
took a
leaf coming to
gross.
save the day.
Looked so
I mean, I
great.
prided myself on that. That's my favorite part of wrestling is taking other people's moves. You know, like I like selling. I like.
So that's where I get it from.
Yeah.